morning and welcome to the program Good Morning St. Lucia Vibes at Sunrise with yours truly, Shannon Lebourne, on this Thursday, November the 17th. We're wishing you and yours the very best today, Thursday, the eve of the weekend. Yes, thanks so much for waking up and joining us. Coming up on this edition of the program is Democracy at Risk. We'll have the latest on the election developments in Dominica. My guests include the leader of the opposition, a former speaker of the parliament, and a concerned citizen. We'll also share with you the word for today and some sound financial advice. Here's your invitation to remain with us from now until 9. The time is now just about 6:06. The latest news headlines. Your first news of the day with Shannon Lebourne comes up next.
The morning news, first news of the day, is sponsored by Quartz.
Former U.S. President Donald Trump has launched his third bid for the White House, declaring America's comeback starts now. At his Florida estate, he said, "We have to save our country." Mr. Trump's announcement comes as some fellow Republicans blame him for the party's lackluster performance in last week's midterm elections. President Joe Biden, who defeated Mr. Trump 2 years ago, has said he may run for re-election in 2024. Speaking to an invited crowd from the ballroom of his Mar-a-Lago private club in Palm Beach on Tuesday night, Mr. Trump, 76, said, "We are a nation in decline. For millions of Americans, the past 2 years under Joe Biden have been a time of pain, hardship, anxiety, and despair." He continued, "In order to make America great and glorious again, I am tonight announcing my candidacy for the President of the United States." Shortly before the speech, he filed the paperwork with the Federal Election Commission, formally declaring his presidential candidacy and setting up a fundraising account outside the Mar-a-Lago. Supporters gathered to wave Trump 2024 flags. Trump's speech lasted for more than an hour and touched on many of the same themes he had been repeated on stage for months. These include border security, energy independence, and crime, as well as attacks on Mr. Biden's record in office. His wife, Melania Trump, joined him on stage at the end of the speech, but there were fewer family members present at this time around, and his daughter Ivanka Trump and Donald Jr. did not attend. Following Mr. Trump's announcement, Ivanka, who had previously served as the senior advisor in her father's administration, released a statement saying she was taking a step back from politics and would not be involved in the 2024 campaign. Nearly 11,000 miles or 17,700 kilometers away at the G20 summit in Bali, Indonesia, Mr. Biden, the current president, now 79, was asked whether he had a reaction to Mr. Trump's announcement. "No, not really," the Democratic president said. Last week, he was filmed laughing when a reporter suggested Mr. Trump's support base remains strong. Digical's postpaid customers will have to dig deeper into their pockets to afford a 5% price increase, which will be added to the monthly subscription fees. The former Telecommunications Minister, Dr. James Fletcher, has described the proposed bill as absolutely absurd, based on the reasons provided in the notice. On his 2 Cent Tuesdays podcast, Dr. Fletcher took a deep dive into concerns surrounding the rate increase and the broader issues plaguing the telecommunications sector.
Owners of a Digicel postpaid plan were stumped by a surprise email indicating that at the end of January 2023, a 5% price increase will be reflected in their monthly bill. The document, supposedly emailed to thousands of users in St. Lucia, cited, and I quote, "substantial increases in the costs of doing business, with prices for goods, materials, utilities, and labor going up significantly," end quote, as the reason for the proposed rate increase. Providing his assessment of the situation, Dr. James Fletcher has rejected the rationale, noting that it is unreasonable for the company to attempt to increase prices without offering any new or additional services. Based on his evaluation, the suspicion is that the company is employing a cost pass-through strategy.
As far as I can tell, The only one of the quoted items that has gone up here in St. Lucia for this company is the cost of electricity. Water rates, water, the other utility, water rates have not gone up. The cost of labor has not gone up. From all my inquiries, the company does not use any new goods or materials in providing its service where the cost of these goods and materials have increased. Therefore, I am left to assume that this company is now operating a fuel pass-through pricing system, where the increase in the cost of electricity is now being passed on to the consumers of its mobile phone service. This is absurd. No new services have been provided to the consumer.
To this end, Dr. Fletcher is urging telecommunication regulators to assure consumers that this price increase is not an abuse of market power. He says the rights and interests of consumers must be protected by the relevant regulatory bodies. The National Telecommunications Regulatory Commission, NTRC, is the regulator in St. Lucia. It falls under the Eastern Caribbean Telecommunications Agency, UNTILL, which is comprised of 5 OECS countries, including St. Lucia.
The NTRC needs to assure us, the consumers, that this rate increase is warranted and is not just a telecoms company trying to squeeze more money out of consumers who are already reeling from high electricity prices, high gasoline, diesel, and cooking gas prices, and ridiculously high food prices. To whom can these consumers turn? The Minister for Telecommunications, the NTRC, and UNTILL are supposed to protect the interests of these consumers, whose backs are up against multiple walls.
Dr. Fletcher says that in the interest of true transparency, the company in question should have stated whether its revenue has also increased during these perilous times. Reporting for the Hot 7 TV News, I am Kareem Nelson.
Thank you, Kareem. Police have launched a public appeal for information in connection with investigations into an early morning shooting that left one V4 man dead. The shooting believed to have occurred at the individual's home in George Shine Drive in the early hours of Wednesday, November the 16th. A joint team of officers, inclusive of the Special Services Unit, the SSU, Beat and Patrol, and Criminal Investigations Department of the V4 Police Station proceeded to George Shine Drive in V4, where an unresponsive male was found in his residence. Medical assistance was sought and provided, and the practitioner formally pronounced him dead. The deceased has been formally identified as Wilson Joseph, alias Fat Boy, of George Shine Drive. A post-mortem examination is scheduled for a subsequent date. Again, police are appealing to anyone with information regarding this incident to contact the nearest police station or the Major Crimes Unit at 456-375. For anonymous reports can also be made by dialing 555. For the 14th time and 5th consecutive year since 2018, St. Lucia boasts her prominence as the world's leading honeymooning destination, having once again been bestowed the coveted title at the 29th Annual World Travel Awards. Held on November the 11th, touting St. Lucia's booming tourism sector, the island's minister with responsibility for the sector, Dr. Ernest Hilaire, described the win as a monumental achievement, but stressed that the industry must continue to improve to maintain its standing as the world's leading honeymoon destination.
St. Lucia was earlier this year recognized by the World Travel Awards as the Caribbean's leading honeymoon and adventure tourism destination. Travi Awards also recognized St. Lucia as the best honeymoon destination in the Caribbean. While these achievements were limited to the region, St. Lucia has now attained global success as the world's leading honeymoon destination. Helen is no stranger to the coveted award, as the Isle has captured the illustrious title a remarkable 14 times. St. Lucia's unmatched romance offerings have placed her above other contenders from honeymoon hotspots around the world, including Jamaica, Jordan, the Maldives, Maui, Hawaii, Oman, and Paris, France. Praising the island's tourism stakeholders for these successes, Tourism Minister Dr. Ernest Hilaire also affirmed that every effort must be deployed to maintain its coveted title.
We also received a couple of awards You would have heard we've received 2 awards, the leading destination in the Caribbean, to add to the one that we had received from the World Travel Awards. And of course, a few days ago, we had St. Lucia won the world's leading destination for honeymoons once again. So it is something we've won in the past, and we certainly work hard to try to ensure that St. Lucia maintains that designation.
St. Lucia has almost become synonymous with the title leading honeymoon destination. But what kind of stock does such an honor present to the island in terms of advancing its tourism industry?
I think it adds to the value of St. Lucia, the recognition of St. Lucia for what it is. It's the most prestigious award, and for St. Lucia to receive it. And when you look at the list of competitors we had, Jamaica, Oman, Maldives, Seychelles, Colombia, whatnot, it really says a lot about how our product is viewed. And for us to continue to win it says about a lot about the quality of the product that we have in St. Lucia. And I'm sure there are going to be a couple more awards over the next few weeks, because we're coming to the end of the year when awards are being given. So we're certainly excited about that.
Destination partner Ladera Resort retained the title of the world's leading wedding venue, having consecutively won the title since 2018. Reporting for the Hot 7 TV News, I am Kareem Nelson.
In more news, the Department of Physical Development has launched a series of projects to explore key land use and how innovative data analysis can support better decisions about land use change. One such project is the Geography Information Systems Exhibition and National Spatial Data Infrastructure NSDI Showcase. The showcase which started on the 16th and will culminate on the 18th of November, highlights the use of geospatial data and technology in varying sectors such as agriculture, census, utility services, and planning. The ultimate goal of which is to create a central data pool of information gathered across various agencies on the subject matter, making it accessible to all.
Wednesday marked the commencement of a 3-day Geographic Information Systems (GIS) exhibition and National Spatial Data Infrastructure (NSDI) showcase, spearheaded by the Department of Physical Development, supported by the Disaster Vulnerability Reduction Project, and funded by the World Bank. According to Geo-Information Officer in the Department of Physical Development, Susanna Aurelia, the exhibition will enable various stakeholders to share data amongst themselves, which in turn can be used for policy and decision making.
The aim of this week's activity is to actually do an outreach so that persons will know the importance of geoinformation. Now we have a number of agencies here, not just government agencies, we have private agencies, we have business owners who are here to showcase what geoinformation can do, how it can actually help and influence decision making. We'd also like to be able to reach out to policymakers to show them how this information could actually help in supporting certain policy decisions.
Aurelia says the NSDI system will hopefully break the collector's mindset and encourage stakeholders to share the information collected, guided by standards that will make the data uninterruptible.
The NSDI is the project that will make that data accessible, because one of the issues that we have in St. Lucia is that we have a lot of silos and we have a lot of bogging of information. Although the information should actually be public, but certain agencies don't like to share this data. So the NSDI, like I said earlier on, there are policies and standards that will be put under the NSDI. Some of those policies will actually enforce the sharing of data. So the public and other professionals, other agencies, schools who would need that data would actually be able to access it through platforms or other means. The standards would be put in place so that the data is collected and being able to be used by various departments.
By Aurelia's account, the department embraces such an initiative as it moves away from predominantly hard copy and analog methods of collecting and storing data to a digitized means. The exhibit will conclude on November 18th and is open daily from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Baywalk Shopping Mall. Reporting for the Hot 7 TV News, I am Jasmine Duncan.
Thank you, Jasmine. The Bortley Correctional Facility, BCF, will host a conflict resolution workshop today, Thursday, for 54 inmates. The activity, which has received support from the St. Lucia Crisis Center and the Department of Probation and Parole, will demonstrate how conflict management makes a difference. Organizers say the theme for the program is making a positive difference to the well-being and lives of men and boys. The Bortley Correctional Facility is hosting the event as part of International Men's Day observances. Disgruntled Jacmel resident is appealing to individuals in his community to aid and assist with the recovery of his livestock following the suspected theft of his cows. The man laments that the bandits have stripped away his livelihood as he solely relies on the rearing of animals as his main source of income. He is urging the perpetrators to desist from such criminal behavior. Kareem Nelson takes a closer look.
Lifetime Jacmel resident Cuthbert Jamison, seemingly at his wits' end, is calling for the return of his cows as the man is suspected to be a victim of paradia larceny. Jamison recounts that in the past 2 months, 2 of his animals have allegedly been stolen from him. He is no stranger to theft of his livestock, relaying that a total of 4 cows have already been taken away. Frustrated by the matter, Jamison encourages individuals to be vigilant and assist with the recovery efforts of locating his animals.
Juste un jour qu'on nous a parlé la condition couille. M'a quoi ti bœuf là. Avec maman la carrelé. So m'a demandé moun because n'importe quoi au cahier au lion obligé tan ti bœuf ça carrelé. Avec lido ni boudou est ti bœuf ça pas na maman. Puis si nya maman il paraît jamais relé comme ça. So m'a demandé moun demander moi pour moi ça un petit bœuf ça là pas eu lion non tous les deux ici un petit bœuf premier était pour un caco plein caco deuxième point moi était apprendre tout avant ça mais m'a même pas la botte qui était tout à la mise il pas la député comme ça là dernier point là vendredi il roll fond descend fidèle blanc roll fond ça descend caco so m'a demandé because m'a prendre red.
As a lifelong cattle farmer, Jamison is angered by the criminal actions of the perpetrators, articulating that those culpable have stripped him of his livelihood.
Well, man, that's my experience. So if somebody like take my cow, you could imagine that boy, they kill my arm because that's what I'm depending on. You want someone telling you? So I can't understand like somebody like nighttime I'm on my bed and somebody there running after my cow and hold my cow. You understand? So I can't understand.
So you just want the community members to help you find your...
Yeah, man. All around. Can be Sarah, Millet, Vanna, whatsoever, Roseau. But they know where it is. Somebody know. Somebody heard a cow crying.
The man has asked anyone with relevant information concerning the retrieval to contact him at the following numbers: 723-7110, 729-4021, and 725-9285. Reporting for the Hot 7 TV News, I am Kareem Nelson.
Finally, from us this hour, students and the wider public will have a chance to contribute to national data stores by way of a skills building drone simulation program and a mobile data collection drive. This soon-to-be-launched project will be spearheaded by the Fire Department, the Statistical Department, and LUCELEC. The goal is to allow students and citizens to use their mobile phones to collect geospatial data on various areas of interest, such as hurricane shelters, which will be compiled and displayed on a map with relevant details.
Krishnan Alexander of the St. Lucia Fire Service has taken up the task of educating students on the use of digital tools needed to collect data, which will be converted into information maps. According to him, the quality of information collected can be used by the wider public as a blueprint to locate various landmarks, structures, flora, and fauna. The potential of this geospatial mapping technology is vast and can be applied across industries. Alexander shared how his personal experience led him down a path of finding a means to capture data and mapping it for future use and the scope of the project.
So essentially, it's technology used to be able to go out in the field and plot your own points. The reason this even fell on my radar is because sometime last year, there was a need where I needed to map hydrants. I was in Soufre, I was unfamiliar with the territory, I don't know the area, didn't have the local knowledge, and so GIS solved that problem for me in enabling me to map out hydrants. And so this is what I want to share with the students today. Not necessarily so they can map hydrants, but so that they can map their own points of interest. Maybe they want to map bus shelters in their community or the schools. Whatever it is that their interest lies, they can use this app to map it. Say, for example, you are a bee farmer and you just happen to pass and there's some bees in some forest. You're not equipped to take it. You can pull out your phone, map that area, and when you're ready, there's no difficulty in finding that isolated area because it is mapped to you geographically, and you can return to it anytime.
Alexander shares information about the mobile application that will be used and the functional benefits of such.
The data, it's available both for Android and for iOS. There are many apps. The particular one I'm using is called Mergin, and that data, you can share it with somebody else who has another merging account. So basically you have a username, and in the settings you basically say who you want to share it with. So you can share this map with basically anybody else who has a merging account. Other way you can share it is to actually access it through a desktop app. You can print out the map, and there are more technical ways, for example, like a web server where you can actually put that map that you created online where anybody can access the results of it.
In keeping with the mandate of the Disaster Vulnerability Reduction Project, and as a small island developing state prone to natural disasters, the app will allow for information such as emergency shelters to be mapped so that people can access the information in times of need.
The fact that vital areas can be mapped. So like shelters, it's one thing to know the location of the shelter. It's one thing to know, off the top of your head where it's located, but sometimes it's difficult to get from point A to point B. But when you have an app, geographic data, a live map that points you in the direction, it's so much easier to get there. And these apps, they also work offline. So even though there's there's no power, as long as you have power on your phone, you can still use the maps even though there's no power, even though there's no internet, because essentially they're downloaded to your device, and so they are suitable no matter the occasion, no matter where you find yourself.
Joining him on this mission is the Statistical Department and Lucille. Reporting for the Hot 7 TV News, I am Jasmine Duncan.
Thank you so much, Jasmine. 6:30 now the time. Before we end the news, a recap of our top story. Former U.S. President Donald J. Trump has launched his third bid for the White House, declaring America's comeback starts now. At his Florida estate, he said, "We have to save our country." Trump's announcement comes as some fellow Republicans blame him for the party's lackluster performance in last week's midterm elections. President Joe Biden, who defeated Mr. Trump 2 years ago, has also said he may seek re-election in 2024. Speaking to an invited crowd from the ballroom of his private club in Palm Beach on Tuesday night, Mr. Trump, now 76, said, "We are a nation in decline. For millions of Americans, the past 2 years under Joe Biden's presidency have been a time of pain, hardship, anxiety, and despair." He continued, "In order to make America great and glorious again, I am tonight announcing my candidacy for the United States." Shortly before the speech, he filed paperwork with the Federal Election Commission, formally declaring his presidential candidacy and setting up a fundraising account. Outside his Miami estate, supporters gathered to wave Trump 2024 flags. Mr. Trump's speech lasted for more than an hour and touched on many of the same themes he had been repeating on stage for months. These include border security, energy independence, and crime, as well as personal attacks on Mr. Biden's record in office. His wife, Melania Trump, joined him on stage at the end of the speech, but there were fewer family members present than at the same time in past events. Ivanka Trump and Donald Jr. did not attend. Following Mr. Trump's announcement, his daughter Ivanka, who had previously served as a senior advisor in her father's administration, released a statement saying that she was taking a step back from politics and would not be involved in the 2024 campaign. Nearly 11,000 miles or 17,700 kilometers away at the G20 summit in Bali, Indonesia, President Biden, 79, was asked whether he had a reaction to Mr. Trump's announcement. "No, not really. The Democratic president said last week he was filmed laughing when a reporter suggested that Mr. Trump's support base remained strong. Well, that's the news. The first news of the day with Shannon Lebourne.
The morning news, first news of the day, is sponsored by Quartz.
Ooh la la! See what's new at Quartz. We've got great deals on living and dining room sets, appliances, electronics, and smart devices, and more. Shop today with no cash using Quartz Ready Finance, 3 to 48-month payment plans available. Shop in-store or online at shopquartz.com. Come see what's new and take advantage of these great deals only at Quartz. Bringing value home. Conditions apply.
Good morning. Thanks for waking up. Here are the sports headlines. Up next. In sports this hour, Micoud Secondary are the champions of the 2022 Schools Netball Tournament. Micoud won the finals against Soufrière on Wednesday at the VG Sports Complex. It was a keenly contested finals in the Schools Netball's competition. In the end, Micoud Secondary gained the bragging rights as they edged past the top contender Soufrière Comprehensive in a 1-point nail biter. Congratulations to Micoud Secondary winners of the 2022 Schools Netball Championships. In the third place playoff, Babonneau, they got the better of the St. Lucia Sports Academy. The final score in that match, 22-13. Let's take a look now at the overall results in the competition. The first place went to Micoud Secondary, second place Soufrière Comprehensive, the third place Babonneau Secondary, and the fourth place went to the St. Lucia Sports Academy. A quick look now at some of the individual awards. The most valuable players voted for this year's tournament: Denisha Valtor of the Soufrière Comprehensive, Lizzie Dovias of the Micoud Secondary, and Kishima Innis, St. Lucia Sports Academy. Josanne Lewis of the Babonneau Secondary School was also named an MVP. Results now in the inter-schools basketball semi-finals. Leon Hess Comprehensive, they have booked their place in the finals after defeating the St. Mary's College by 2 points. Final scores: Leon Hess Comprehensive 33, St. Mary's College 31. Leon Hess again securing their spot in the finals. We should have the results of the second semi-finals during tomorrow's sportscast. Schools table tennis update now. Manny Eliter, a student of the Cicero Secondary School, he emerged the winner of the Inter-Secondary Schools Boys Under 15 Table Tennis Championships. LaShawn Francis from the Castries Comprehensive Secondary School finished second, while Vernon Salvatore, also from the Castries Comprehensive, and Alfred Hippolyte from the Stanley John Odlum Memorial tied for third place. The girls under 15 event saw the Patricia D. James Secondary School Charles capture gold. Terrian Esperas finished second, while Cicero Secondary student Harmony Herman and Sapphire Popo of the Castries Comprehensive tied for third. Finally, in sports this hour, Veterans in Sports Inc. They have announced the startup of the much anticipated Veterans Football Tournament 2 years after the last competition was held. 2 years hiatus due to the COVID. Some 5 matches scheduled for this coming weekend to be held on Saturday at the Denry Playing Field. Veterans Football Action from 4 p.m. on Saturday. VSADC will face up against Congorians at 6 p.m. Island Vibes Brotherhood will face the Canaries Veterans. So it's 3 games this weekend, and at 8 p.m. Ancillary Veterans will face All Blacks from Denry. Again, matches to be held at the Denry Playing Field Saturday, November 19th. The games start from 4 p.m. The final match at 8 p.m. The event is sponsored by numerous corporate partners, including Courts Ready Cash and flow. We've come to the end of the morning sports. 6:37 now the time on this Thursday. The winds are blowing from between the east, northeast and east near 18 miles per hour, 30 kilometers per hour. The weather partly cloudy tonight, becoming cloudy at times with widely scattered showers tomorrow. Residents and motorists in areas prone to flooding and landslides here are advised to be vigilant. Moisture and instability ahead of the approaching surface trough will cause some cloudy periods with showers and possibly thunderstorms over the central and southern portions of the Los Angeles during the next 24 hours. Moisture again and instability ahead of an approaching surface trough will cause some cloudy periods with showers and possibly thunderstorms over the central and southern portions of the Los Angeles during the next 24 hours. Tropical cyclone formation is not expected over the tropical Atlantic during the next 5 days. That's the latest weather news from the Here and Now Meteorological Office in V4 St. Lucia. There's lots more online, www.slumet.gov.lc, and you can also follow the weather hotline 454-345. To a reminder, the Atlantic hurricane season officially concludes on November 30th. Still some time to go. Continue to remain prepared. Good morning. If you're just joining us, this here is the morning show built just for you. We get you up to speed and out the door with what's trending in our beautiful country, around the region and the globe. This morning on the program, coming up is Democracy at Risk. We'll have the latest on the election and developments over in the Commonwealth of Dominica. My guests will include the leader of the opposition, a former speaker of the Parliament of Dominica, and a concerned citizen. All that plus today's word of the day and some sound financial advice coming up. Here's your invitation to remain with us from now until 9. Happy holidays.
Ooh la la! See what's new at Courts. We've got great deals on living and dining room sets, appliances, electronics, and smart devices, and more. Shop today with no cash using Courts Ready Finance, 3 to 48-month payment plans available. Shop in-store or online at shopcourts.com. Come see what's new and take advantage of these great deals. Only at Courts. Bringing value home. Conditions apply.
Get your clothes sparkling clean with whiter whites and brighter colors. Use Joby antibacterial washing powder. Ultra concentrated formula gives more washes with brightening factors added to keep your clothes looking new. And with the added organic fabric softener, your clothes will be soft and fluffy. Joby antibacterial washing powder is also effective in stain removal for cleaner, brighter, softer clothes with the sweet scent of early spring morning. Use Joby antibacterial washing powder. My family, my love, my Joby. Available at supermarkets island-wide. For orders, call 455-3076.
Come savor the flavor of 14 of Rodney Bay's best restaurants. The Bay Gardens Resorts presents Taste the Bay Food Festival, a culinary extravaganza you don't want to miss. November 27th from 11 a.m. at the Bay Gardens Beach Resort and Spa. Taste the Bay Food Festival, powered by Banker St. Lucia. For more information, contact the Bay Gardens Resorts at 457-8535 or check out our Instagram page for more updates. Taste the Bay Food Festival, November 27th, 2022, Bay Gardens Beach Resort and Spa.
Mourning a loss? Hot 7 TV wants to help you celebrate the beautiful memory of your loved one with In Loving Memory, Celebrating Lives. Whether it's a birthday, a wedding anniversary, or some memorable occasion, or the anniversary of the passing of the dearly departed, Hot 7 TV will create a moving video tribute of that special person, showing how much he or she meant to you. Treasured memories, unforgettable moments. Share them with the world and repeat the airing as often as you'd like. Help keep your loved one's memory alive forever in the minds and hearts of all who care. In Loving Memory, Celebrating Lives. Contact us at telephone number 452-6040 or email us at inlovingmemory@caribbeanhottv.com.
Good morning, St. Lucia. Vibes at sunrise. An informative, enlightening, stimulating package. It can be taken as your morning cup of tea. Fortuna Anthony endorsing Vibes in the Morning.
Welcome back, my oh my. Things are heating up over in the Commonwealth of Dominica. The ruling Dominica Labour Party, they have launched in full swing their 2022 election campaign as they prepare to head to the polls on the 6th of December. There's now calls for all opposition factions and Dominican citizens to stand down from participating in this general elections. We will see how that unfolds. Coming up this morning, we'll have a former Speaker of the House of Parliament over the House of Assembly over in Dominica, herself having served here in St. Lucia for over 2 decades. She will be joined by the leader of the opposition over in Dominica and a concerned citizen who perhaps is next in line to take over the leadership of the main opposition over there in DA country, Dominica. Stay with us for that and lots more. Let's now bring you the word for today, which is sponsored by Joby Laundry Detergent, distributed in St. Lucia by Fruit Seafood Limited. Joby antibacterial washing powder. My family, my love, my Joby. The word for today is an adjective again, nugatory. Today's word, nugatory, an adjective that you know it means something described as nugatory is of little or no consequences. Nugatory is also used especially in legal contexts to describe something without operative legal effect. Let's use it now. Is that a sentence? We have 2 sentences today. Excellent. Most of the criticism of the film in the week since its release has been nugatory nonsense. Second one now. The law was enforced and thus rendered nugatory. Let's open those sentences, give you an appreciation of the word nugatory. An adjective, again the meaning. Something described as nugatory is of little or no consequence. Nugatory is also used, especially in legal contexts, to describe something without operative legal effect. This has been the word for the day segment aimed at improving literacy here amongst our citizens. The word of the day is sponsored by Joby Laundry Detergent, distributed in St. Lucia by Fruit Seafood Limited. Joby antibacterial washing powder. My family, my love, my Joby.
Get your clothes sparkling clean with whiter whites and brighter colors. Use Joby antibacterial washing powder. Ultra concentrated formula gives more washes with brightening factors added to keep your clothes looking new. And with the added organic fabric softener, your clothes will be soft and fluffy. Joby antibacterial washing powder is also effective in stain removal for cleaner, brighter, softer clothes with the sweet scent of early spring morning. Use Joby antibacterial washing powder. My family, my love, my Joby. Available at supermarkets island-wide. For orders, call 455-3076.
Good morning. Thanks for staying with us. We're getting ready to take the trip over to the nature